Well, look, I think inheritance tax is it's in the news this week. The Daily Telegraph have launched a campaign to try and abolish it completely. We look at examples in Sweden. 20 years ago, they decided to abolish it altogether. It had been coming down incrementally year on year since the 1980s. They got rid of it eventually in 2004. Academics, economists in Scandinavia believe that it actually improved productivity and it loosened the kind of what's the best way to describe it? Some of the people some of the population reported later on that it was good for their expenditure. It allowed them to spend money on other priorities in the country. So I think that I've had this situation myself. I'm speaking from personal experience. My father died 2 years ago, and so I've been hit with inheritance tax quite badly. I just think with all the taxes that we pay, with things like income tax, we've got the highest tax take we've had the highest tax burden we've had in 70 years. There's income tax, VAT at 20%. That's risen over my lifetime. It was 15% back in the early 90s. It's up to 20 now. There's talk that it might even go up even further. Stamp duty, I think, is a very unfair tax. I can't think of many other countries in the Western world where you literally have to pay or find money to buy a house. I appreciate that in other cultures, house building or house ownership isn't quite as prevalent as it is here, but it does seem very unfair. And then, of course, right at the end, when you're hit with a pot, you're left with a pot, and then suddenly it's hit by up to 40%. Yes, there are boundaries at which you can keep some of your wealth, but I also think it stifles ambition. Some people don't necessarily work all their life and accumulate wealth to buy a Bentley or a new house. Sometimes they do it for the betterment of their children and their grandchildren. Where's the incentive for them to do that if all they know at the end of it, or all they have to come at the end of it, is that it's going to be taxed to the hilt? And I think it's deeply unfair. I think it's time to abolish it altogether. I appreciate, though, there are arguments to the contrary. And I also say as well, it only actually accounts for about 0.5% of overall government income, so it's not exactly making a big splash on the balance sheet either.